What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, I had one play, and it was pretty terrible. It was the Pacers plus 6. Um, it didn't come close. So need to do better than that here today. I am back home, so maybe I can get some of that Vegas luck back. Vino, hopefully yesterday was better for you. How you doing today?
I'm good, Skee. Yesterday, NBA was good for me because I only had one play, and it was the Bucks team total over. We left that here as the best bet for the show. It was pretty easy wire to wire for them to get to where they wanted to get to, but typical Doc Rivers fashion, he lost that game in the last 3 minutes. So Milwaukee not good as a side, but definitely good as a team total. We'll take it. We're already in the books with a win this morning in college basketball. Early bird riser. Got ourselves another win. So maybe getting back home is the key, Skee. Travel's rough.
Yeah, travel is rough, but let's get to it. We got 6 games in association to talk about here today. I did play a couple of them. One of them, I rarely do it. I bought out, but we'll actually talk about that game first. That is Wizards and Sixers. Open 13 and a half. Still looks like 13 and a half. Total open 236 and a half, and that's down as low as 234 and a half. Injury report for Philly. You have Drummond questionable, Paul George questionable, Grimes questionable, no Embiid, Oubre, or Watford. For Washington, Keyshawn George questionable. You have no Middleton, Sarr, Kispert, Johnson, or Cooper. So initially, I know the Wizards are on a back to back, but I was still liking them. Um, the Sixers, they did just play that double overtime game, and I was surprised to see Drummond even get any minutes in that game. He just had an MRI today before, and usually when guys have MRIs, it's a bigger injury than just getting right back out there the next game. He only played 5 minutes, so I do think he is really banged up. But I think that Philly just needs some, you know, they need some size. That's why also Embiid played last game, but no Embiid this game. Drummond questionable. I don't know how effective he's going to be out there. At the same time, I was expecting some of these guys to play for the Wizards. I wasn't expecting everybody to be out. Sar, Middleton, Trey Johnson, not Keyshawn George questionable. It's starting to become too much. So I did bet the Wizards yesterday. I've now bought out. Like I said, I rarely do it, but it's too tough for me now with the injury report. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, and on the other side too, Skee, because when Quentin Grimes got downgraded for Philly from probable to questionable, that hurts them as well. I know what they want to do. You mentioned they're small, just being here in the area and seeing them almost every night. They want to pace things up. And of course, when you have Washington in on a back to back, a little bit shorthanded because of their injury report, you want to go. But the team total here is 124 and a half where Philly's concerned. And I can't get there, not without, I would need Grimes in there. I know McCain is capable, but I don't know that they have enough. Tyrese Maxey had to get 54 the other night for them. He does an awful lot. I couldn't find an edge either way in this game. I really don't want to lay that price with the 76ers. I don't want to play the total up and over because I don't trust Washington's side as much here now. Maybe Washington team total under if I try to rethink this and reposition myself. But I have no play, and I don't see any reason to try and force one there.
All right, we'll keep going. Next game up, we have Blazers and Raptors. Opened up 5, still looks like 5. Total, though, has come down from 234, seeing it as low as 230. And when I look at the injury report, RJ Barrett is out. For the Blazers, Klingon is still questionable. No Scoot, Drew, Tybull, or Wesley for them. But, this is another one that I like quite a bit. I agree with the market for the total coming down. I didn't get the best of the number at 234, but I got 232 and a half. And a lot of these games for the Raptors, I've talked about how good their defense has been. And I've been playing their opponent's team total unders, which has been pretty good this year. And I thought about that again here versus Blazers team. And I thought, why not include the Raptors side? Because ever since RJ got hurt, they just been struggling to score. And when I think about RJ, he's more of an offensive player than defense. The defense improves actually with him out, in my opinion. So I think that's why we're seeing this Raptors offense struggle lately. They've gone under in 5 straight. I think this is another under game here, Rob Veno. How do you see it?
Well, we see it exactly the same, except you beat me to the punch by a little bit because I got 232 under. The Toronto team total, Ski, is 5-0 to the under last 5 games. Full game, 5-0 to the under. Toronto team total, 5-0 to the under. And you're right, they haven't been able to score at all as of late. It would have been even better, I think, if Drew Holiday was going to play in this game as far as
Yes.
Portland defense against them. And then I could have gotten to Toronto team total maybe individually. But I still think that, this is the first game for Portland of a road trip. Generally, you have the most energy in the first game of the road trip. Even without Drew Holiday, they could be worth a look as the underdog in this game simply because Toronto hasn't scored enough to create separation as of late. But I chose the high road here, which was play under. Like I said, I got 232. I'm looking at it right now. It's down to 230 and a half. Maybe you already said that, but it has been bet down pretty solidly. And I agree with it, Ski, until Toronto comes out of this offensive rut. And as you as you mentioned, they're playing really, really good defense. You put those two together. We like to go to math school around here, or logic school. 2 + 2 equals put me on the under. So I think there's still maybe even some wiggle room left at 230 and a half. Maybe you could still stay under this number.
I think there is still wiggle room. Honestly, we look at the Raptors games lately. I don't think any of them hit 229. I mean, 228 and a half even. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room still. Um, my bad. A lot of people in the chat like in the Raptors first half. I can understand wanting to get in and get out. It's just I struggle. I mean, this offense has just been so bad. So I don't want to bet the side. Next game, Knicks and Celtics opened up -1 for the Knicks. I mean, it depends where you shop, but most shops have the Celtics as -1 right now. Total did go up from 228 as high as 231 and a half. Everybody is healthy for Celtics. We know Tatum's been out. For the Knicks, OG is out. Shaman is out. The Knicks have won 4 in a row. This is the first of a back-to-back for them. They will play the Hornets tomorrow. For the Celtics team, it is their third game in 4 nights. They did lose to the Knicks a little earlier in the season, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe a chance for them to get some revenge here. Um, I don't know. This was not one I had one of the stronger opinions on. So I'm gonna pass this one to you first. Is there anything you have on Knicks and Celtics?
Well, I was thinking of taking a little bit of a chance here on the Boston Celtics team total over 115 and a half because they look better since they're fully healthy. In fact, their team total, the opposite of Toronto's they're 4-1 over their number last 5 games with everybody being back on the floor for the most part. But the Knicks counter that, Ski, by playing unders the last 4 games. Now, I tried to justify it a little bit by saying, you know what, the Knicks didn't play good offenses in those games or even good teams. They played Brooklyn, they played Charlotte, they played Milwaukee, which is a good offense, and they played Toronto. But still, those games fell under the total all 4 times. Knicks team total under 3 of the 4. I still might, my feeling here, my gut feeling is that Boston's offense is clicking right now, and I'd rather play that side. I could see it getting into a little bit more of a high scoring game because I don't know if Boston can defend the Knicks thoroughly, but I don't know. I'd rather ride the hot hand here. If I'm going to play, it's going to be Boston team total up and over 115 and a half. The game you talked about earlier this year, 105-95 Knicks, 10-point win and under. But again, Boston has been a little sporadic up until now. And what Pritchard had 42 the other day, I think, right? I remember I was harping on Peyton Pritchard a little bit from bench to starter, not as good, but he seems to be turning a bit of a corner here also. So maybe Boston team total looks kind of appealing to me. I don't know that I buy into the Knicks holding their opponents down score wise last four games simply based on the majority of their opponents.
Well, looking at the Celtics home game so far this season, they are the number one offensive rated team, whatever that's worth. So maybe looking at some points for that side. We'll keep going down the list. Um, Next game we have Minnesota and New Orleans opened up minus 9.5, now minus 12 or even 12.5 for those Timberwolves. Total hasn't really moved too much. I don't see anybody on the injury report for Minnesota. For New Orleans, though, Misi questionable, Zion questionable, Herb Jones, Makovich, uh, Murray, and Poole are all out for the Pelicans. It'll be the third game in 4 nights for both of these teams. You know, just to put it simply, Timberwolves are a team I view as, at least so far, they struggle with the better teams. They demolish the weaker teams. Pelicans one of those weaker teams. I mean, they are on the road though. It's a big number to lay on the road, but as of right now, I agree with the market. Anything for you on Wolves and Pelicans?
And I think the market moved, based on the Zion news once he got downgraded. There went the number straight up. I'm a little bit hesitant. I've been on Minnesota's side a couple of times this year and gotten burned, especially on the road laying points. However, New Orleans, for what it's worth, just can't play any defense, Ski. And Minnesota, again, it's a game where I looked at a team total, just thinking, why not only fade the Pelicans defense and go ahead and play the Timberwolves offense? I'm not so sure. They've left me hanging at the door a couple of times. So it was a game I really couldn't get to. No play yet. I think if I had to, I would try to find some way to play that Minnesota individual total, kind of just playing against New Orleans defense, because New Orleans defense, that's the one constant. That thing never gets better. They just kind of like the way I played Milwaukee against Washington last night. Just score points because they can't defend. Minnesota may be the same thing here. And again, to your point, they're healthy. Minnesota's dealt with a lot of injuries this season on and off. Being fully healthy could help here. I'd like to say that standings matter and Minnesota needs to get some wins, but I think we know better. The standings don't really matter until after All-Star break for these teams.
Yeah, I hear you on that. This one is tough. So I'm gonna move along. I think these next two games are better than this one. So we will go. Let's go to Memphis. See if I can get that up there. Memphis and San Antonio. There we go. Opened up 5, still 5 or 5.5. Total didn't really move either, or at least it's still right around the opener is what I'm saying there. As far as the injury report, Landale questionable. Still no Clark, Jerome, Morant, Pippen, or Small. For the Spurs, Wemby, Castle, McLaughlin remain out. Ingram is questionable. Um, I like the way the Grizzlies have been playing lately. I do, but the Spurs, they've been playing solid too without Wemby. Um, Spurs have already beaten this Grizzlies team. I have trouble laying with this Spurs team without Wemby. I mean, looking at their wins lately, I mean they have won a couple games by margin. It's tough for me to push that button. If I don't have Wemby out there, even with Wemby, like I don't like laying multiple possessions with the Spurs. So that automatically makes me want to lean towards the Grizzlies here. Grizzlies definitely have been the better defense lately. Grizzlies have been the better rebounding team. I mean, why don't we bet the Grizzlies in this game then, Rob Veno?
Yeah, once upon a time, about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when these point guard injuries hit Memphis, I thought it was going to be a real problem, but it hasn't. It looks like they've learned how to play around it because you're right, 5-1 against the spread. Last 6 games, Vince Williams playing a pretty good brand of point. Memphis still a little bit lacking on the defensive side, but good on the offensive side. My first inclination here was to play over in this game, but San Antonio, it is their first home game off a 4-game road trip. And generally, we don't like to be on the home team in those situations. So maybe a vote for the underdog in that particular situation. For Memphis, fourth road, right? The end of a road trip here. Fourth road game in a 4-game road trip. So I guess those counteract one another. I could see points in this game, Skee. To your point about Wembanyama, they've also learned to play because it's been Stephen Castle and Wembanyama both out, and they've learned how to get around that. Since De'Aaron Fox came back, I think they're a little bit quicker of a team. I trust them to score on Memphis. I kind of trust Memphis to score back. So I might get there with a total play here, but I didn't play it. It was a little too difficult for me to really establish something sidewise, and maybe total. That's a gut feeling more than statistical or fundamental reasoning play.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I mean, even player props here. Edie, I feel like Edie's been playing solid lately. Going up against Cornette, I mean, I want to do something for Edie, or I'm at least look into betting Edie. That's what I'll say there. And then we can move over to the last game on the slate. That is Thunder and Warriors. And this one opened 8.5 for OKC. It's up as high as 12. Total open 226.5, and it's come down. I'm seeing as low as 222.5 right now. Caruso out, Dort out, Hardenstein out for the Warriors. Draymond is probable. Jimmy's questionable. TJD is questionable. Steph, Horford, Milton, Tuhey, all out for this Warriors team. Man, Vino. So I understand. I mean, Steph is we knew Steph was out already. But and I guess maybe is Jimmy questionable, but Caruso out, Dort out, Hardenstein out. It's a lot of defense missing for that Thunder team. Um, if they were playing anybody else except for this Golden State team minus Steph Curry, I would be trying to look towards betting it over. That Golden State offense has just been pitiful without Steph so far this season. Um, so saying all that, I mean, I'll just ride with the one thing that's not really matchup based is just how do you call it? Maybe is it emotion based or whatever? I like Draymond under. Draymond under points and assists, 14.5. Um, and it's just based on we know he don't like to play when Steph's not on the court. He's either he might not even get to play tonight at all. We just get our money back. He might go out there and get a couple flagrants and get thrown out, or he might just end up with 2 points like he did the last game. I mean, we've seen this too many times. I think he's only hit this number 4 out of the last 15 or so games without Steph Curry. So Draymond under points and assists. What do you think about Thunder and Warriors, Rob Veno?
I actually played this game. I played the OKC team total over 117.5. The guys that you mentioned, Caruso, Dort, Hartenstein, all defense, but not a lot of offense missing, Skee. The key here for me is that their offensive pieces are still in there. The backcourt exists with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren up in the middle. And all the scorers seem to remain here. We're missing some, bench type scores, 8 to 11 a game. But I don't think that matters here against the Golden State defensive unit that's going to confront them tonight. So for me, I think it was the simplest form of getting to over because I started the way you started your analysis here, thinking that I would play this game over. But the Golden State injury list, when I looked at who's going to be on the floor, thought to myself, you know what? The Golden State's not missing a lot of points. They're missing a lot of defense. I wish I could get there thinking that Golden State, what's going to be on the floor, could score against OKC without those 3 defenders. You know what I mean? But don't have enough faith. So I'm put my eggs in one basket here, the OKC basket. They've scored over 118 4 of their last 5 games. Somehow, some way, they seem to get there all the time. They don't cover all the time because they're laying such huge numbers, but seemingly they always get to and around the 120 mark. So for me, OKC over 117.5 team total.
And I can see it. Only thing I would say is if the Warriors are going to cover this game, I'm not saying they are. It has to be with them playing defense, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on the Warriors, so all right. That's the NBA slate for today. Um, we can move it on over to, or before we move to best bets, let's do some of that promo stuff. It is also $5 Tuesday. I have a best bet up and available. Rob Veno has a best bet up and available. You can get them for $5. Um, yeah, and just see, see if you like what the write up says, see if you like whatever we're talking about, see if we win, and then maybe you want to rock with some other stuff we have going. Outside of that, this continues to be a thing. Weekend Warrior. If you want to get every football play, from Rob or myself, Saturday, Sunday included, it's going to be $49. That includes any 5% releases and Monday Night Football. We have the full court all access pass, 3 days at NBA and college basketball, only $49. And then the long term, $500 off a 1 year pass comes out to just $125 a month. And if you were to get a year pass for Robino, we'd also get a 25% bonus coupon that you could use on anything for myself or whatever you want to use it on. So I think that is a pretty good job right there. We can move it on over to best bets. And if there is anything else you want to mention or promote, feel free. If you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it.
Think promotions are all covered, Ski. Plenty of stuff available there at wagertalk.com, including, like Ski said, the $5 Tuesday play. There's also, for those interested in college football, a college football bowl special up right now. It could even be bowl plus Super Bowl special. I don't have the exact details in front of me, but I know it's available. So go ahead and check it out, wagertalk.com. I'll just start where we left off. It was the first bet I made today. It's the biggest bet I made today. OKC team total over 117.5. I basically laid out why I played it. It's a team that just finds their way to that number on a nightly basis, Ski. We'll see if they can do it again. I hope they can, but that's my best bet play for today. Oklahoma City team total up and over 117.5.
I like it. For myself, I'll go with that Draymond under. Like I said, I bet under 14 and a half points plus assists. Believe he stayed under that. I think it was 5 out of 17 games. It was without Steph Curry. And I mean, we know I don't have to explain too much. He does not want to be out there on the court when Steph is not playing. So, and he doesn't have a lot of success. A lot of his success is tied to Steph. So that'll be my best bet for the show. Vino, appreciate you taking the time to break these games down with me. We'll be back doing it again tomorrow. Everybody out there in the chat, we appreciate you as well. We're all just trying to help each other get to the window. And yeah, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action tonight. And we'll catch you guys.